Hello and welcome to another Mikereative podcast. We are here back with the guys, drinking some beer, and we're going to talk about Borderlands 3 and Game of Thrones predictions.
That's right.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me back.
Oh, yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. Let's get straight into Borderlands 3. So during the PAX event, they announced it. They gave it a trailer to us. They made it all nice and fancy. And then a couple days later, they actually announced that it's coming out September 13th of this year.
Nice.
For PC, for PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
Okay.
And the PC version, though, is Epic Store exclusive. So Epic Store is kind of like a Steam competitor, right? But
Full of communism.
okay. But yeah, so it's just it has its pros and cons. It mainly cons, but it's a timed exclusive, so it only has 6 months until it's available on Steam and other platforms.
And that's only PC.
That's only PC.
Okay.
Yeah, other launch sites, like launcher type of sites.
So
Steam
like
is one of them.
Xbox.
You don't have to worry about it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because it's on Xbox. It's on Xbox. It's on PlayStation. It's on PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They haven't announced any kind of cross-platform thing, but that'd be really cool if they were able to.
To actually do it this time?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
to
cool.
be able to cross-platform between PlayStation and Xbox. And
this way, I don't have to
to
buy a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, you might as well, but
I'm not going to buy a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, you might as
I'm not going to buy a PlayStation 4.
well.
I don't play
because he's stubborn.
my Xbox.
Oh, that's right. You shouldn't get it because PlayStation 5's coming out pretty soon.
Is it? I'll get a
And
PlayStation 5.
you don't even play your Xbox.
Who knows?
You know what? I'm just going to get a PlayStation 5 and just not even play that. Just to say I have it.
There you go.
First world problems.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you guys all watched the trailer. What'd you guys think of the trailer?
Yeah, it was good. It looks cool.
Hobby hated it.
I'm
He
not.
does
I'm not,
not
a fan.
like it.
Okay, I don't.
He's
hate
a
it.
liar.
I'm not a fan of the graphics. I don't like the whole visual part of the game. It just confuses me. When I look at the screen, there's too many just colors all over the place. It's weird. Obviously, every game has a lot of colors. But just like the style, the artistry, the
Cell shading.
the cell shading. Yeah, I personally don't like. I think it just makes everything really weird, especially because it's already kind of 3D.
It looked like it had split screen on some of the parts of the trailer and more of the videos that they showed off. So it looks like it could be couch co-op where, two people can play on one console.
Can you do that online or?
So you can have, or at least with Borderlands 2, you can have it split screen, but then still link up to other people as well.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Up to 4 people. You can have 4 people in a party. Yeah.
Because that's the max characters is 4.
Well, in Borderlands 2, there's 6.
Oh, but you can't have 6, right?
At one time?
At
No,
one
it's a
time.
4-party team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Do you think they'll? Well, I mean, they obviously introduced 4 new characters. I forgot all of their names, but they introduced 4 new characters that you're actually able to play. They're not necessarily new.
Oh, yeah. The 4
4
characters
new
are
playable characters.
Oh, okay.
Mose, Amara, Flack, and Zane.
If someone quizzed me on that, I would not be able to get any one of those names. Like, if my life depended on it, I would not be able to. I just watched the trailer, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't.
No.
But each game seems to have 4 playable characters, and they're always new. So, when you're playing Borderlands 2, you see Borderlands, the first Borderlands player in the story kind of intermixed with it. Mm-hmm. And if you've played those games and played them together, you're kind of like, oh, I used to play as that character or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so now in this, trailer, you see like Maya from Borderlands 2, and I think that's all we've seen as far as the playable characters from Borderlands 2. But it's cool because I know it's going to have its kind of throwbacks where it's going to show off some of those characters. Maybe it'll have the Gunzerker, from Borderlands 2. In Borderlands 3, you don't get to play as him, but you get to see him as an NPC type of thing. But it's nice that they're always having new characters each time, because you learn their skills, and it's always a new thing to learn, or new like skill set to figure out. And so you have your typical characters like the soldier girl. You have the siren, who is more of like close combat, who her skill like has like ethereal spirit arms that come out of her.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they're able to like punch the monsters, or do like an AoE kind of like smash attack. Yeah, Flack, who's like a beast hunter, kind of like Bloodhound a little bit.
Is he the one that can?
I didn't know they had
train?
Yeah, he can train different like
skills in this game.
We watched one video that said they can play. They might have like
multiple
skill sets. So he might have like being able to control. What is it? Just one of the animals, like any
animals, but like multiple different kinds of animals.
Yeah,
and then you can upgrade those animals, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then the Zane guy is more of like, they were saying like, think of like kind of like Bruce Wayne, where he's got gadgets and things like that.
So Bruce Wayne and James Bond.
Yeah, so he's like, think of like a spy, where he can get in, infiltrate, kind of leave his traps or leave his like gadgets around, take out the enemy, and then get out like unseen, type of thing. So he's kind of like the Zero of Borderlands 3, but Zero from Borderlands 2 was like the melee sniper guy. So he's either super close combat with a sword, or he's like real far out, and sniping people, So it's cool. You can see a variation between the playable characters, and they already announced the season pass and multiple different options to buy the game. So I'm assuming that in the season pass that you're going to find multiple characters, additional like playable characters,
like playable characters.
Yeah, like they did with Borderlands 2, where they added the Mechromancer, and they added Krieg, like the fire guy, the bandit guy with the mask.
Oh, okay. So
those were actual additional playable characters, like added onto the game, kind of like season 1 of Apex. They added on that character, they added the extra character, so it's going to be something like that.
Got it.
Isn't
That's
there
what
like?
I'm thinking.
Well, they have like different pre-order options, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the most expensive one is like $250.
Yeah, they have a collector's.
Yep.
They have a collector's
collector's
edition.
They probably have like some type of
$250.
It's like a loot box, and when you find the loot chests in the game, you open it and it kind of opens up, and you have all the loot, guns, whatever. So it's that chest, and inside of it comes with like little the playable character statues, keychains, a map, a cloth map or something like that. Like it's a multiple like physical things. All the other editions are like kind of digital, So like a yeah. So they have a deluxe, which is like it goes from standard is 60, deluxe is 80, and then as of right now, the super deluxe is what they call it, is 100. After September 17th, it's going to be 120. But that super deluxe is what includes the season pass. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted the season pass, you would want to get the super deluxe version for $100. Or if you're super into Borderlands and you really wanted to get all the physical stuff, collector's edition for $250.
I don't know about that.
That's crazy. And it's a really fun game to like hook up with other players and kind of play along with them, kind of thing.
So question, because we've only played it once or twice with each other.
Yeah.
So we tried playing this game. It was a lot of fun just to kind of be able to have that, like we're all linked up and we're all playing at the same time. That was a cool aspect to it. But with it being online play, do you continue one singular story, or so someone starts the story and you jump onto that story?
Yeah.
Got it.
So there's going to be the like, let's say the player king, right? And whoever you're linking up to, you're going off of their story.
Okay. So you can continue your own story online, and then someone can just jump into the middle of it. Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's a cool concept.
And join along with you. So
it's not what we have set up right
it's
now.
It's not like
Borderlands
MMO
2?
at all. What's up? Yeah.
So any one of us can play it and just continue.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Shit, I would have played it a long time ago then. What the fuck? I thought I had to wait for people.
No, you could just sign in with your character and just keep playing.
Huh. But yours is the king though, right?
Well, I think your data gets saved. I mean, we could figure it out, but
I thought we did that though.
I felt like I did that because I could have swore every time I started, I was like a level.
He was a lesser level. I think me and you played, and then
he joined on.
And then he joined on, and then he just increased his level really fast. You don't remember that?
No.
Oh, okay. No. Well, that happened. That happened. See, we remember.
Let's take a break and let's talk about this beer real quick.
Does a beer.
Where does this beer come from?
This beer is actually made from Cellars. I forget what city they're from. What city are they from?
Pretty sure they are in
Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah, Rancho Cucamonga.
So Rancho Cucamonga, I don't know how to pronounce it. I said Champagne. That's not how you pronounce it. Champagner. So it's a wine barrel aged golden sour ale re-fermented with Malvasia and Viognier. Yeah, that's the
Malvasia.
Malvasia, you're right, and Viognier. Wine grapes. I've never had either wines.
Well,
now you kind of have.
Now you kind of have, yeah.
I really have.
Cheers.
Salud.
Yeah, it's a good sour.
Yeah.
All around, just a good sour.
That. It's got a nice little taste to it.
Mm-hmm. Not too fruity.
Not too fruity at all.
Tart.
You're a tart. All right, so this next segment, I actually raised a question with Mike today. It's like, all right, well, let's, as you know, Game of Thrones is going to be coming out, April?
Next week.
19th?
From when this posts. And that's next week.
What's the date? April 14th? It is 14th, okay. So April 14th, Game of Thrones, the long-awaited, 2-year-long wait, is finally coming. Mm-hmm. Winter is coming, people.
Wow, it's really
Winter
been
is
almost
coming.
2 years?
It's almost been 2 years now. It's crazy.
Winter is here.
Where were we 2 years ago?
And ready. I don't know.
In
Dorne. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it was summer.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Oh, it was summer 2 years ago.
They just released the White Ravens, signifying that it's winter. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, you didn't know that? You didn't know that?
I knew that. I was waiting for you. So, obviously, there's a lot of anticipation. I think all three of us started rewatching. Mm-hmm. Actually, most people I've known actually started rewatching Game of Thrones just to get caught up.
It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years.
You want to catch up and figure it all out.
It's actually been better this second time around than it was the first time.
For you, that's good.
Because you catch on to a lot of details. You know characters a lot, I wouldn't say a lot easier, but you know characters and who they are and where they come from. Mm-hmm. Versus trying to piece together every single name that's now introduced in every season.
But now that we know those characters and we know those details, what are our thoughts on the endgame? Not Marvel endgame. I'm talking Game of Thrones endgame.
Game of Thrones. So this is the aspect to where I pose the questions like, all right, well, it's kind of like a little game. So what would be your happily ever after? And then what's the most realistic, practical, like Game of Thrones actual ending that you would think would occur? So
if Thanos snaps his finger and half of the White Walkers disappear, and then Tony Stark and Jon Stark,
that would be the end game. Okay, predictions. Any happily ever
happily ever after? I would think. I mean, that's like
if we're talking one idea at a time.
If we're talking fantasy, like happily ever after,
practical though.
This wasn't done by George R. R. Martin. Happily ever after, it was done by J.K. Rowling. Then it's the Night King dies, right? And because the Night King dies, the whole army of the dead die, because that was that whole thing.
Yeah.
And now you have Dany and Jon getting it on, getting married, and ruling the Iron Throne.
So which is cool because you actually find out like Targaryens actually really did bang their tias. Like that's what happened. They banged each other all the time. Which I do want to bring that up in a little bit. But my thought was like, okay, well, where would everyone be? So one of the ones was, not Theon. Why can't I remember? Tyrion. I think he would be appointed Lord of Castle Rock, which he originally wanted.
Okay, well,
he's like, all right, well, here's Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen who have seated on the Iron Throne, and they've appointed, him as Lord of Casterly Rock, which he wanted from the beginning. When obviously he,
and now that Littlefinger's dead, it no longer belongs to him.
So I think that would be like a happy ending for Tyrion. Another happy ending would be, you know what I got? This is kind of weird. This is the weird.
I was thinking Sansa.
Yeah,
Warden of the North.
Warden of the North.
She had. Well, I was watching, season 7. I was kind of seeing how well she was at commanding and figuring out for the people, thinking like, oh, okay, we need this many bushels.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to bring grain from the other cities, so that way, they're not trying to tread through the snow with bushels of grain, to get to Winterfell if it gets too, concaved with snow and everything like that. So it's like, it's pretty. She did really well looking at her and like she could figure shit out. So I'm like, that'd be cool if she became Warden of the North while Dany and Jon were down south.
I think that'd be cool.
No pun intended there.
No.
I think I don't know if they'd ever be because you have the Baratheon, which he doesn't really have really a birthright.
Gendry?
Yeah.
Gendry.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a
doesn't.
birthright.
Yeah,
So
he's a bastard.
but I would like to see Gendry and Arya actually get
it
together.
on?
Well, I mean, not.
No,
They did. They did like each other.
Yeah, they did like each other. He said that he would make him his lady and stuff like that. So I think it'd be interesting for them to kind of, as soon as season 7, that would be the happily ever afters. As soon as season 8, my bad, it's 8 already. They kind of get together. What would you guys? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no.
What would you guys think of Sansa and why can't I remember his name?
Ramsay Bolton.
No. His character just peaked up again. It just hurts.
Theon.
With Theon, yeah. It was like when I see like Joffrey, I'm like, yeah. I'll never see him differently.
With the sausage?
Yeah.
The Hound. What if? I know that sounds really weird.
Yeah, that does sound really.
It sounds really weird, but if you remember from the beginning, the Hound really took care of her. And she's
in certain parts, yeah.
Hound is really one of the reasons why she's still alive. Because she tried to commit suicide by jumping off the bridge, and he stopped her.
But I don't think he stopped her like knowingly. I think he stopped her just because like
he would get in trouble if he.
Yeah, I think when he stopped her, I think he stopped her like unknowingly, like just to wipe the blood off her face or whatever.
No, it definitely seemed like he stopped her because he said something afterwards.
Well, because she wasn't just gonna kill herself. She was gonna push Joffrey, but she started walking towards him, and then that's when he pulled her around.
But she was gonna kill herself at the same time. But I forget what he says exactly. But he says something like, that's not wise of you to do, or you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't want to end it so quick. And then he also saves her when Joffrey and his whole group walk down the city, and they start basically kind of like rioting them, and they have to escape. And he goes in, and he didn't have to. He literally goes and finds her, because Joffrey wouldn't have cared. He goes and finds her and saves her.
Yeah.
So there's a certain care that he has about her that's just kind of different. Like they have like an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, he definitely softens up. Towards like the 6th and 7th season.
And you don't initially see that until you see it with her. I think that's when he starts softening.
You start to see her there.
Or
you start to see it there with her, but I feel like you see it more so with Arya. Because
he was with her for so long.
He was with her for so long.
Yeah.
He was like kind of mean and messed up to other people, but he was like caring towards her, or like trying to like give her lessons.
I wonder if they explain why like he's so nice to the Starks. Like,
well, I feel like he was always like a good kid.
Then
but because his brother like fucked with him so bad, kind of like messed with him a little bit, and then just because he was already ugly and a big dude, he had to like protect himself, so he became. What was he? He
became the Hound.
Yeah.
So what would you guys want Tyrion? I'm not gonna lie.
I'm still down in King's Landing next to Dany, as her.
Not Tyrion. Sorry.
As her hand.
Theon.
Oh, I think he's gonna die.
I feel like
I kind of want him to die.
He's gonna end up like sacrificing himself to like redeem himself
for
his sister.
Yara.
Yeah, I think he really deserves to die. Like I feel like he's honestly. I just feel like he's miserable. Yeah.
especially after what's happened to him so many times. So maybe there is going to be that kind of sacrificial where he's going to be able to save her, but he's going to finally like be able to just rest in peace and be over with it.
Yep.
You know,
at least his name won't be dragged into the dirt if he kills himself honorably, or puts himself in a situation where he's going to die, but at least he like dies with honor.
Yeah.
Any other happily ever afters?
That Theon one was the best happily ever after. We just pretty much said happily ever after Theon dies.
That's true. I mean, would you like to see Brienne with
Jamie?
Tormund.
Oh, that's right, because Tormund. That's right.
Oh,
but she's in love with Jamie.
Yeah, she could be.
I don't think Jamie ever wants another woman.
No. I mean, a happily ever after.
He always loves Cersei, but now that he's not, he doesn't want to have anything apart.
Happily ever after probably would be also Cersei just dying like a terrible death.
Well, there's that prophecy that Cersei dies by the hand of her brother, her younger brother.
Oh.
And so she assumes it's Tyrion, but Jamie was born after her. Oh. So Jamie could be the one who ends up killing her.
I haven't got that. That's an interesting one. That could be true. That'd be a great one. I'd like that death. That would be a satisfying death. As if Jamie was the one who killed Cersei. She just done so much. So worst case scenario, like stuff that it's like, that would suck. Other than the fact that the White Walkers,
Night King wins.
Yeah, the Night King wins. I'll pose one.
Even though that would be pretty cool.
It would be. See, I wouldn't be.
And they take over Westeros.
Well, there was that trailer.
Essos.
There was that trailer, the Aftermath trailer, where there's a little 30-second clip, but it's like all of Winterfell completely
destroyed. There's swords everywhere.
Destroyed,
wow.
but there
no bodies.
There was no bodies anywhere, but they were able to screenshot different areas, and based on their costume, so it was Dany's costume, right? And then that was hanging off of something, or Jaime's hand was in the snow. It was a golden hand that was in the snow.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Or Tyrion's little hand thing was in the snow, or
all that was
John's,
in there.
John's long claw. You saw that at the very end, right? And so it's all different characters, like Arya's dagger or needle sword or whatever it is.
So it's in the snow.
So you can see that in the different clips. You can see those characters. It's those characters have died, kind of thing, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's that's the aftermath of whatever. So it's as far as where this is going to go, George R. R. Martin's already said it's going to be bittersweet, but that's at least in his books.
Yeah.
We're now on D&D's, schedule and on their story, because they've already turned it. So it's going to be up to them, and if it really is going to be bittersweet or if it's just going to be a tragedy.
Yeah.
So before we get into what was the thing that we're going to get into?
We're going to get back into the worst outcomes that we can expect from...
Worst outcomes that we can...
Yeah, so the stuff that we're afraid that's going to happen.
So essentially, right now we're little fingering this shit, because Littlefinger takes every motivation or every kind of good or bad outcome, and he plans it in his head to see what that other person's going to do, or what they're motivated for, or what the expectation is. And that's how he was able to play the Game of Thrones for so long.
And he lost.
He did eventually lose.
Lost.
So we are going
pretty
to lose
bad
too.
So
So before we get into worst possible outcomes for all of the characters, or at least predictions and things like that, let's talk about this Game of Thrones beer.
We have another one for Ommegang.
Hey,
this is actually another one of their series between them and HBO, and creating these Game of Thrones type beers. It's called Game of Thrones for the Throne. It's a golden ale co-fermented with Pinot
Grigio.
Pinot Grigio. I never even learned.
That's a wine.
And Viognier. Grape juice. So, says to serve at 40 degrees. So I hope it's at 40 degrees. And yeah, I didn't know they're from New York.
Definitely not at 40 degrees, but... Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud. Thank.
I don't like it as much as a sour Cellars because it's not really a sour.
Oh no, this is definitely this is definitely just a golden ale.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind it though.
I don't get
golden ale with
any note of Pinot Grigio at all.
No.
I do.
Really?
Aftertaste.
I'm not
Has that kind of like wine kick.
I'm not a
that
wine
you
guy.
that you get with. Oh yeah, let's do that on the. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. Cut
that shit out.
it out. Cut it out.
I feel like I don't get any of that.
All right, so worst case scenarios.
Everyone dies.
Other than that, because pretty much everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of death.
I honestly would hate to see. I know that's one of the things is Jon Snow has to die, or a lot of people project him to die.
He was
I would rather
risen
have-
after death just so
Yeah.
he can sacrifice, maybe kind of thing.
This guy's
Yeah,
almost
I
died
feel like he's-
so many times.
I think it's season 6 when Uncle Benjen saves Bran, and when he saves him, he's like, "No, you need to get better. You need to get better at using your three-eyed raven powers because you're going to be. You need to go back down south or north kind of thing, but south of the wall and meet him." And he pretty much says like it's going to be you versus him, and once you have your powers, you'd be able to actually tackle like fighting him, which is interesting.
That would be interesting.
My whole thought was like, what if he is the Lord of Light? Everyone worships the Lord of Light. They bring back Jon. They bring back Beric Dondarrion. Beric Dondarrion came back like 6 different times.
Oh yeah.
But what if it was him manipulating because of his powers, because he's able to control Hodor? What if he's able to then bring back to life? Because Beric Dondarrion needed to go up north and catch a white with Jon Snow. So Jon Snow and Beric Dondarrion needed to be alive. So maybe he goes back in time to revive them and make them alive again each time, just so they can serve their task in that moment so they can get to the next step.
That would be...
And that's him just kind of going back and
Talking
making
about
sure it's
Bran
happening.
going back in time.
Bran looking back in the past, but using his powers to bring back... Because there was that moment where he's standing in Dorne, and he goes like, "Dad," or whatever, and Ned Stark, young Ned Stark, turns around because he thinks he hears
and he
something.
could hear something.
And he can kind of control almost the past,
And-
because he was able to control Hodor.
Yeah, he was able to control Hodor.
Yeah.
And that's how he became Hodor,
Hodor.
right? So it's like, what if he like gains even more powers to the point where he's able to then be kind of like the Lord of Light and revive
So really,
the people he's trying to get.
He's the one manipulating time. When
Right,
people
because everyone's like, I don't know what the Lord of Light wants. I don't know what he wants. Why did they bring me back? I don't know.
It doesn't necessarily...
Because he's not giving him an answer.
Well, it doesn't necessarily explain when they see into the fire and then they see this vision or being or something like that, unless they're hallucinating or something of the sort.
Oh.
And it doesn't explain...
Dragons came back in the earth.
True.
Magic came back too.
I thought magic was already there.
That happened in the second season.
No. Well, magic kind of faded away.
It's not as powerful.
Worst case scenario for me, another one, would be if Cersei had the, I guess the satisfaction of killing Daenerys or Jon Snow. I would hate that. I would hate for Cersei to be the one who ends either one of those lives.
Yeah,
that would suck. It's definitely possible.
Yeah, it would be pretty painful.
Yeah, I'd fucking
watching
hate it. You can bleep that out. I would hate for Cersei to have that one, to have another death like that, especially with 2 of the main characters we've been following this whole time. To get that one, that would suck.
Yeah.
I
would hate the Hound to die by fire.
I would hate.
He already is afraid of fire.
Right?
You know what I mean? And there was like little details.
suck.
There's little details whenever they're all stuck on that little rock when they're up north of the wall, and Thoros dies, and they have to light him on fire to make sure he doesn't come back. There's a little detail where the Hound turns around and faces his back towards the camera because the fire's behind him. He doesn't want to stare at the fire.
No, he doesn't want to stare at it. Yeah.
You know? So it's like he's always been afraid of fires. That
I would hate that.
A lot of people are saying like, would it be really fucked up if it ends really bad, and then it starts up at season 1 when Bran wakes up from his coma after being pushed out of the.
Oh.
That would be messed up.
Just a giant
fucking dream. Well, that was our podcast show. Thank you so much for sticking to it to the end. We enjoyed the Game of Thrones beer. We enjoyed the Sour Cellars. Thank you to those guys who made them, and thank you to Vince who provided it. We hope you enjoyed the conversation that we had about Borderlands 3 and Game of Thrones predictions on some of the worst and best possible predictions for Season 8 and the final complete season. Let us know your thoughts down below, and we'll catch you the next time we do the podcast.
3 months.
Peace out.
See you guys.
Bye.
Nice. Bye.
Cheers.
Salud.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.